The struggle for survival, the emergence of an empire. Humanity had been cast out. The Galactic Council had spoken, sealing every stargate connected to human space. Earth and its colonies were left alone in the darkness, abandoned like a broken tool no longer needed. The alien races believed that without their help, humans would wither away and vanish from history. But they were wrong. At first, survival was brutal. With no access to the vast trade networks of the galaxy, humanity faced shortages of food, energy, and resources. Factories fell silent, ships drifted powerless in orbit, and panic spread across the planets. People rioted in the streets, fearing the end of civilization. But among the chaos, a new fire ignited. The leaders of Earth and the colonies gathered in secret, forming the Terran Council. This was not the weak, divided government that once pleaded for acceptance in the galactic community. No, this council was different. It was forged from desperation and determination. Scientists, engineers, and military strategists sat side by side, planning humanity's future. "We will not beg," declared Admiral Kane, his voice firm. "We will not crawl back to them. They believe we are weak. They believe we cannot survive. We will prove them wrong." The age of innovation. With no alien trade, humanity had to rely on its own intelligence. Scientists worked day and night, pushing the limits of human technology. Old blueprints were rediscovered, ancient knowledge revived. Every ounce of metal, every drop of fuel was repurposed. A new energy source was developed, quantum fusion reactors, far more efficient than the outdated alien technology humans once depended on. Food production was revolutionized, with underground farms capable of sustaining entire planets. And then came the greatest breakthrough, the hyperwave drive. Unlike the slow, clunky engines gifted by the aliens long ago, this new drive was faster, more stable, and completely independent. No more reliance on the galactic gates. Humanity would no longer be trapped. They would spread across the stars on their own terms. The first colonies of a new empire. Within decades, humanity was no longer struggling to survive. They were expanding. New colonies were established, not in known space, but beyond the borders of the alien empires. These planets were harsh, wild, and untamed, but humanity thrived. They built underground cities, floating stations, and massive shipyards hidden deep in nebula where no alien could find them. The people no longer saw themselves as exiles. They were pioneers. From the shadows of their banishment, a new power was rising. The Terran Dominion was born. No longer just Earth and scattered colonies, it was now an empire built on struggle, determination, and the will to never be controlled again. The Shadow Fleet. Even as the Dominion grew, its leaders knew one truth. The galaxy had not forgotten them. The alien races still watched, waiting for humanity to collapse. If they saw humans as a threat, they would strike. So, humanity prepared. The first ships of the Shadow Fleet were unlike anything the galaxy had seen. Sleek, fast, and armed with weapons far beyond alien understanding. Where alien warships relied on predictable energy cannons, human ships used quantum railguns, silent, deadly, and impossible to counter. Their ships did not shine like the golden fleets of the Galactic Council. They were dark, stealthy, invisible to enemy sensors. The aliens believed humanity had vanished, but humanity had been watching them the whole time. The message to the galaxy. For years, no alien ship dared enter human space. The Galactic Council believed they had buried humanity forever. Then, one day, an alien trader's ship drifted too close to the borders of the Dominion. His vessel was ancient, its engines weak and broken. The pilot, a small reptilian creature from the Sarnak race, expected to find dead colonies and ruins. Instead, his scanners picked up something terrifying. A massive space station, far larger than anything he had ever seen. Ships patrolling the system, moving with precision and discipline. And worst of all, they saw him. Before he could react, His ship's systems went offline. A human voice came through his speakers. "You have entered restricted space. You will return to your leaders and deliver a message." The Sarnak pilot trembled. "Do what message?" The human's voice was calm, but firm. "Tell them we are coming." The transmission ended. The alien ship was released. Shaking, he turned his vessel and fled as fast as he could. The moment he returned to the Galactic Council, the news spread like wildfire. The humans were not gone. They were stronger, faster, smarter. And worst of all, they had been preparing. Panic filled the council chambers. The same aliens who had cast humanity out now whispered in fear. For the first time, they realized their mistake. They had not destroyed humanity. They had created something far worse. They had created an empire. Humanity's return. A phantom in the dark. The Galactic Council had dismissed humanity for too long. For decades, they ignored whispers of human activity in the outer reaches. Now, those whispers had turned into undeniable proof. Humanity had not only survived, but thrived. Alien spies reported sightings of mysterious warships, their hulls dark as the void, appearing and disappearing without a trace. Merchant vessels went missing near uncharted regions, and when survivors were found, they spoke of ghostly fleets watching them from the shadows. But the Council did what it had always done. They denied it. "Humans are weak," the Council leader scoffed. "If they had any true power, they would have revealed themselves already." How wrong he was. The Phantom War begins. The first real clash came at the Drakval outpost, a small but vital fuel station at the edge of the galaxy. A fleet of Selvarian warships, one of the Galactic Council's strongest members, patrolled the station. The Selvarians were massive insectoid creatures with hard exoskeletons and a deep hatred for humanity. They had been among the loudest voices demanding humanity's exile. That night, their arrogance was shattered. Without warning, their long-range sensors went dark. Communications with nearby outposts were cut. Panic spread through the alien fleet as their ships, once powerful and dominant, became blind in the vastness of space. Then the attack began. Blazing out of the darkness, human warships struck like silent assassins. They moved with impossible speed, dodging enemy fire effortlessly. Weapons the galaxy had never seen tore through the Selvarian hulls, reducing once mighty battleships to drifting wreckage. Within minutes, the battle was over. Not a single human ship had been lost. Before vanishing into the void, humanity left behind a simple message, broadcasted across all frequencies. "You should have killed us when you had the chance." Fear spreads across the galaxy. The news of the attack spread like wildfire. For the first time, the Galactic Council understood their mistake. They had cast humanity out, expecting them to die. Instead, they had become something stronger, something terrifying. Panic filled the council chambers. Every alien race feared they would be next. Some demanded an immediate counterattack, but the truth was clear. They didn't even know where humanity was hiding. Reports came from across the stars. Ships disappearing without a trace. Enemy bases destroyed before they could call for help. It was as if the darkness itself had come alive against them. They called it the Phantom War. The Council's desperate plan. The Council, for all its arrogance, understood one thing: if they did nothing, humanity would soon return in full force. Desperate, they sent emissaries to plead for peace. Ships were dispatched into human territory, carrying messages of diplomacy. But humanity had not forgotten. Every message was met with silence. The humans did not negotiate. They did not respond. They simply watched and waited. A warning from the shadows. One day, the Council finally got their answer. An ancient space station, long abandoned, was found drifting near Council space. The alien patrols approached carefully, scanning for traps. When they boarded, they found something chilling. The station had been transformed. The walls were lined with holographic images of Earth's exile, footage of the Council's decision. the laughter of alien leaders as they cast humanity out, the suffering of humans left to die alone in the void. And at the center of the station, a single message burned across the main console. The reckoning is coming. Humanity had not forgotten, and they had not forgiven. The first war for the throne. The Galactic Council was in chaos. Fear had spread like wildfire. Once, the Council had ruled the galaxy unchallenged, believing their power absolute. Now, an unseen force was tearing them apart from the shadows. Humanity had become a ghost, a nightmare, an empire in the dark. Yet, the Council still clung to arrogance. They hide because they are weak, growled High Lord Kravos of the Selvarian Empire. They strike from the shadows because they know they cannot face us directly. His words rang hollow. His own fleets had been shattered in the Phantom War. Still, the Council refused to unite. Each alien empire had its own plan. Some wanted war, others wanted peace, and a few wanted to flee to the deepest corners of space, far from human reach. They didn't realize that humanity had already decided for them. At the heart of the Dominion, the human leader stood on the balcony of a massive citadel, overlooking the former throne world of the Council. No longer called Valderos, it had been renamed Terra Nova, the capital of a new era. As he gazed at the stars, his advisors approached. "What is your next command?" The ruler's voice was calm, yet absolute. "We do not rule the galaxy yet." His advisors exchanged glances. "But we have already won." The leader smiled. "No, we have only just begun." The return of the Shadow Concord. The galaxy had changed. Under human rule, worlds once plagued by corruption now thrived. Technologies once hoarded by the elite were shared. Even alien races that had once feared humanity now prospered under the Terran Dominion. But peace is never eternal. In the void, vengeance was brewing. The Shadow Concord awakens. Deep in the uncharted territories, hidden among dying stars, the last remnants of the Galactic Council had not been idle. They were no longer politicians and diplomats. They were warriors, insurgents, survivors of a fallen order. Calling themselves the Shadow Concord, they had spent years gathering lost fleets, stolen weapons, and warriors who refused to bow to humanity. Their leader, High Lord Kravos, the last surviving Selvarian warlord. Once he had sat on the council, laughing as humanity was cast out. Now he ruled from the darkness, his heart burning with one purpose: to strike back. "The humans think they have won," he snarled to his generals. "They believe they are untouchable. We will remind them that nothing lasts forever." The first strike. The Dominion had grown confident. Their fleets patrolled the stars. Their enemies shattered. They did not expect an attack. That was their mistake. The Shadow Concord's first strike came on Nova Centauri, a vital trading hub in Terran space. It was a city world, filled with merchants, civilians, and scientists. It had no defenses. Without warning, dark warships emerged from hyperspace. Not old, rusting vessels, but refitted, enhanced, and armed with terrifying new weapons. Before the Dominion could respond, the entire planet was burning. Millions of humans and loyal aliens were slaughtered in a single day. When the Terran High Command finally arrived, the Shadow Concord was gone. They left only a message, burned into the ruins of the planet. "You thought you were gods. Now you will bleed like the rest of us." Humanity's response. The Dominion was shaken. For the first time since the war, their rule had been challenged. A meeting of the Dominion's leaders was held in Terra Nova. Generals and admirals, scientists and strategists all gathered before the Emperor. Some demanded an immediate counterattack to burn the Shadow Concord out of existence. Others urged caution. "We do not know their numbers. We do not know their strength." The Emperor sat in silence as they argued. Then he stood. "They believe this war will be like the last," he said. Asterisk, asterisk. They think they are fighting the same enemy they exiled long ago. Asterisk, asterisk. His voice grew cold. They are wrong. Silence filled the chamber. Then, the orders were given. The hunt begins. Humanity did not respond with reckless vengeance. They did something far worse. Instead of sending fleets to strike blindly, they vanished. Terran warships disappeared from patrol routes. Intelligence networks went silent. Merchant convoys continued, unprotected, as if nothing had happened. The Shadow Concord believed the Dominion was paralyzed. But in reality, humanity was watching, tracking, waiting. And when the Shadow Concord finally struck again, this time, the trap was already set. The hunters had become the hunted. The first victory in the new war. A Shadow Concord fleet launched an assault on Argos Prime, expecting an easy massacre. They never reached the planet. Halfway through their attack run, their ships shut down. Their engines died. Their weapons refused to fire. And then, from the darkness, the Terran Shadow Fleet emerged. No grand battle. No warning shots. Humanity executed them. Hundreds of enemy ships were destroyed in a matter of minutes. Not a single human vessel was lost. The war had begun. And this time, humanity was playing by its own rules. The wrath of the Dominion. The Shadow Concord had made their move. They had burned Nova Centauri, slaughtered millions, and declared war on the most powerful force in the galaxy. Now, humanity was done watching. The Dominion strikes back. The counterattack was swift. The Dominion's fleets, once lurking in the shadows, now moved with terrifying precision. Not just one fleet, not just one battle. System after system fell. The traitor worlds that had harbored Shadow Concord forces were the first to burn. No mercy was given. Cities were reduced to rubble. Fleets wiped from existence before they could even sound the alarm. The message was clear. You started this war. We will finish it. The fall of the Selverian homeworld. High Lord Krevos, the leader of the Shadow Concord, understood fear. But nothing could prepare him for what came next. The Dominion fleet arrived above Selveria, his homeworld, without warning. No grand speeches, no calls for surrender. The orbital defenses never fired. The planetary shields failed in an instant. Every ship, every defense system, every communication signal, hijacked. The humans had perfected warfare beyond anything the old Galactic Council could have imagined. And then, the bombardment began. Massive railgun platforms, capable of launching city-sized tungsten rods, rained destruction down upon Selveria. Entire continents shattered, cities, temples, and military outposts, all erased. The Selverians begged for mercy. None was given. When the bombardment ended, Selveria was no longer a thriving world. It was a graveyard. Kravos' last stand. High Lord Kravos watched in horror as his empire crumbled. The Shadow Concord had believed they were prepared for war. They had gathered fleets, soldiers, and weapons, but they had not prepared for what humanity had become. In desperation, Kravos ordered a final attack on Terra Nova. His fleet, the last of the Shadow Concord, jumped into hyperspace. A suicide mission. They never arrived. Somewhere in the void, they vanished. No distress signals, no wreckage, no survivors. Humanity never explained what happened. They simply erased them. The message to the galaxy. When the war was over, humanity did not celebrate. There were no victory parades, no grand speeches. Instead, a single message was broadcasted across every star system, in every language. The Dominion does not forget. The Dominion does not forgive. There will be no second rebellion. The galaxy understood. A new era of absolute rule. With the Shadow Concord wiped from existence, the Dominion solidified its rule. There would be no more rebellion. There would be no more council. There would only be order. And for the first time in history, there was peace. Not peace built on diplomacy. Peace built on power. Peace built on fear. The Terran Dominion had not just won. They had become eternal. The future of the Dominion. The war was over. The Shadow Concord was eradicated. The last remnants of the old Galactic Council had been silenced forever. The galaxy had fought against humanity's rule and lost. Now, there was only the Dominion, a galaxy rebuilt in humanity's image. Under Terran control, the stars began to change. Every major world was brought under Dominion law. No species was allowed to govern itself without Terran oversight. A new order was established. Corruption, once rampant in the Council's rule, was purged with ruthless efficiency. The Dominion Navy patrolled every trade route. Piracy, rebellion, and crime became myths. For many, this was the Golden Age. The economy flourished. Technology advanced at a speed never seen before. Wars between alien races, once common, ceased entirely. But peace came at a price. A rule built on power. The Dominion's justice was absolute. Any world that resisted vanished. Any race that plotted rebellion was erased from history. The message was clear: defy the Dominion, and you will cease to exist. Some alien races called it tyranny. Others called it salvation. But all understood one thing: humanity was the new master of the stars, the immortal throne. At the heart of the Dominion, Terra Nova stood as the capital of the empire. In the great palace, the supreme leader of humanity gazed upon the star maps. Millions of worlds, countless civilizations, all under Terran rule. Yet, the leader did not smile. His war was not over. There are still threats, he muttered to his advisors. Hidden dangers, unknown enemies. Even in a galaxy ruled by humanity, there was still the unknown. And so, the Dominion would prepare, not just for the present, but for eternity. The legacy of humanity. As the Dominion expanded beyond the old borders of the galaxy, one thing became clear. Humanity had not just survived exile. They had become the architects of the future, the rulers of the endless stars, the masters of a new age. And in the darkness, as new civilizations washed from the void, one truth echoed across the universe. The Dominion does not fall. The Dominion does not end. The Dominion is forever.